Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to day 66 of the 90-day live chat. My name is Frank Brewer. I'm a clinical psychologist and the director at New Path Psychology. Today I would like to talk a little bit about family trauma, transgenerational trauma, and also inherited family strength. So really don't know how that came about, but so this afternoon I was just thinking about the many workshops that I've attended on family constellations, and I remembered that so I came from a family that went through 2 world wars. So my grandmother was born in 1908. So she went through World War I and then World War II, where she had her own family. That was my mother. In those workshops, I mean, World War II is about, no, is that true? 60 odd years ago, and in those workshops we can really see it's not over. So I was thinking about how may sort of trauma has affected my family, and it certainly has. So my family, so my grandmother, my grandparents, they had to move and escape from the bombing and in 2 wars, and they just built a house before World War II, and then it was completely destroyed in World War II. So, and they rebuilt it again. So it's also my grandmother. She lost her mother when she was 12, and it was of course tough on the family. So, and that has certainly an impact on the female line of or in the family. And I can see it also in clients that they often, hi Brooklyn, thanks for joining, that are often affected by something that is not really theirs. Yeah, for instance, when their parents are not fully present because they are busy with their own or managing their own stress and so forth. So, and a good tool to resolve is actually a family constellation workshop, because it's basically that with like-minded people, you have enough time to concentrate, to focus on what really has happened in the family of origin, and to work with it, over, say, a whole day, or even 2 days, or maybe even 3 days. And we can resolve it by actually looking at it. So the nature of trauma is often that we don't want to look at it, we don't want to know about it. We want to push it to the side. Either we personally or parents didn't want to think about the painful things that happen in their life. And it's often also true for the veterans. They don't want to think about what happened in their life, and they try to exclude the pain from their lives, and unfortunately there is no solution. So in therapy and in workshops, we do the exact opposite. We look at it and we learn it's nothing that we have to exclude anymore. In fact, what we do is the opposite. We can integrate it in our lives, and that makes life a lot easier. So, and the other thing is, we often talk about trauma, and it's, of course, it's important, and it's important to look at that. But besides trauma, there's often what I would call inherited strength as well. Yeah. So if the or when the circumstances are difficult, yeah, people have often enormous skills and enormous strength, and we inherit that. We inherit those ones too. Yeah. When I can only imagine how hard it must have been for my family to rebuild a house when nothing was available, and so forth. And sort of becoming more aware of the strengths that we actually have is also what I do a lot with clients using hypnotherapy. Yeah? So in a hypnotic session, we go back in time and look for things that are that were nurturing, that were valuable, and so forth, to discover that we often have more strengths than we currently are aware, yeah, of. So it's very interesting, particularly here in Australia, because migration is so big, that children who grow up here have that inherited trauma, yeah, from their parents. Of course, it depends upon the reasons why the family has migrated, but often it's not just about the fabulous weather here in Australia, why they choose to live here, but they often were just refugees. Yeah. So what I can invite you to is to become a bit of a detective of your family history, and that you can sort of take time to think about the difficult things that happened, and to acknowledge them, but also look for strengths and skills and the positive things. Yeah. Traditional psychology often tends to be a little bit too much on the negative side of things, but we need the positive focus as well. Knowing if we focus on the positive stuff grows, all right? And yeah, that's what we want, isn't it? So, all right, that's it from my end for today. I wish you have a fantastic remaining or rest of the Sunday. And I get back to you tomorrow for day 67 of the 90-day live chat. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.